So we all know that the DCEU is dying a very slow, long, agonizing, painful death, and the DCEU Snyder cultists, virgin incels who couldn't get vagina even if they Bill Cosby their way into the woman's panties are losing their mind over it. So let's take a look back at the 5 failed DCEU characters that Warner Bros. Zack Snyder failed to set up. Let's get into it. Joe Deathstroke will go down in history as one of the DCEU's biggest what-ifs. The actor looked pitch perfect as Slade Wilson during his brief debut in Justice League's post-credit scene, and the movie teased Slade Wilson would become a bigger threat to DC's heroes by teaming up with Lex Luthor to form the villain alternative to the Justice League. Recently, Affleck explained how Deathstroke would have been his Batman's movie villain, with the actor saying he is a big admirer of Deathstroke. While returned for Zack Snyder's Justice League, Deathstroke never got the focus he deserved in the DCEU. Another character that was hurt by Justice League's director swap was Darkseid. The villain should have had a big role in the DCEU as Josh Brolin's Thanos had in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But in the universe ends, the DCEU only got teases of Darkseid in Justice League. The DC villain was originally going to have a much bigger role in the DCEU, as evidenced by his role in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Darkseid would have grown in importance during Snyder's planned Justice League sequels, which were canceled. R.I.P. Ray Porter, such a sweet guy, but he got fucked over worse than Britney Spears during her divorce battle. So it is what it is. Who gives a shit? Cast a new Darkseid. I vote the guy from God of War, Kratos himself. That would be pitch perfect. But we move on. Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was a far cry from the menacing Lex from the comic books. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice showed a Luthor that was more manic and witty in his way of speaking than the calm and collected persona Luthor is known to have. While the actor appeared to be headed in a more comic book accurate route with the villain in one of Justice League's post-credit scenes, bald look included, the DCEU did not continue that scene. In the end, the DCEU's Lex Luthor will remain sort of a Willy Wonka, Jim Carrey Riddler interpretation of one of the most DC's beloved villains, rather than a scary, intimidating force that Lex Luthor is known to be in the comic books. But it's Jesse Eisenberg, so I mean, you get what you paid for, right? God and monsters. Oh, Superman, I will get you. Shut the fuck up, you nerd.
Excuse me, have to visit men's room.
Batman's most iconic villain and one of, if not the most iconic villains in any superhero comic book movie, was done absolutely horribly by the DCEU. Jared Leto's Joker debuted in Suicide Squad, and while the movie cut most of the villain scenes, what made it to screen was enough to deem the DCEU's take on the Joker as significantly lacking. From his edgy design, "I'm damaged because I'm a 12-year-old emo boy," choice to the villain's less than enthralling on-screen presence, the Joker was the character that the DCEU failed the most, in my opinion. Or at least one of the DCEU characters that the DCEU failed. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. You want some beef? No, I want you to get the fuck off my TV screen right now, because you are killing the essence of who the Joker is, buddy boy. Go back to running your fucking cult.
Possible homosexual. Must investigate further.
Ben Affleck's Batman was one of the best aspects of the DCEU as a whole, bringing an intimidating sense of physicality to the Dark Knight. However, the DCEU failed the character by making Affleck the only live-action Batman movie actor to not get a solo film as the hero. While Affleck was once set to write, direct, and star in a solo Batman movie, the project was eventually canceled, and the closest thing the character got to feature film was the ill-received team-up Batman v Superman: Dawn of Shit. I'll say this till the end of time. Ben Affleck's Batman is the best Batman of all time. He was one of the shining beacons of Batman v Superman. And for people asking for a solo Batman film, guess what? You got it in Batman v Superman because he completely overshadowed Henry Cavill's Superman because Ben Affleck was that damn good. Henry Cavill's Superman was sadly never given the chance to be true to his Boy Scout self from the comics. The character was always wrapped up in darkness in the DCEU, and although Snyder wanted to have Superman go through a character arc that would see him end as his hopeful self, the multiple changes to the DCEU made by DC's management led to Cavill's Superman never reaching the heights he could have. Superman should have been the face of the DCEU, but he only got one solo movie and a few divisive team-up projects, and I guarantee you, because Henry Cavill is such a nice guy, he got fucked over. Peace out.
Then none for Gretchen Wieners. Bye.